We are live. Let me refresh. Make sure you can see us and hear us, and YouTube is good to go. And yeah, looks good. Sounds good. And Sneaker Pickers, what up? Monday Night Football is going in between. Mindset Monday and Monday Night Football. The GOAT is playing right now.
Yeah, don't worry, it's gonna be a blowout.
He also said Patriots are back on top of the
I
division. I
know.
did see
How
that.
about that? Uncle Bill out there is just smirking.
Hopefully Bills started a downfall. I mean, I'm all for it. What up, Trackstar, Kaiser, AN? More people coming in. I think there's gonna be less people today because, of course, it's the Thanksgiving week. I think families are traveling or maybe already in town. People are already off. Get off for the whole week. Some people out there.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I was telling B is like I know I had like a mountain of things to ship today, but I can handle shipping, cross listing, regular listing. But what stresses me out is like
Having to go to
buying
places.
food, going to like events or Thanksgiving things, or I don't know. It's a complete. I mean, people might see shipping stuff as work. I like doing it. Listen to music, shipping, sales are good. But to buy food and where we have to go here, then we have to go here, that stresses me out more than anything. I don't know how everybody else feels in the chat, but that's just the way I guess we see it after a while from being in this biz and doing other things.
Yeah,
Kevin, what up?
yeah. I mean, I haven't had an entire life of Thanksgiving dinners with family or in-laws or anything like that, but um, a few years of that, I'm like, all right, let's just list and let's
That's
see
just
things.
so in the chat, I know not all the people here yet, but everything good on sales. I think it was a good weekend. Friday, Saturday was good. Sunday got a little slower, and then Monday was good again today. So
Yeah, I mean, people are buying. One thing we know.
definitely buying. They're
So
ready.
yeah, I mean, I'm just keeping track. Whenever I feel like kind of down, I just keep track of how the month is going compared to last year, and that kind of keeps me real with my perspective. That right, in spite of the struggles, I'm 20% up compared to last year. So
Mm.
you
So this
know,
boy's ready.
I'll take that as a win, right? Because we could always like, oh, why am I not having a $5,000 day? I'm like, well, we just got out of a pandemic. We just, we're struggling with for inventory. I don't have the same amount of shoes I've had last year, but to be able to still be ahead, that's a feat. That's an accomplishment.
Yes, sir. Trackstar says, I feel the same. I think it's because our tasks in our business is productive, and those things aren't really. Oh man. Um, Let me see. Sales on fire now. AN. Trackstar sales are slow because my prices are too high. Waiting for the low ballers to clear out, which
Yes.
should I think happen soon.
Well, the low ballers are
During the
getting
week
cleared
is better
out.
than the weekend for me.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. eBay's trash. Amazon's on fire. Eric D. Caroline. During the week is better than the weekend for me. We'll take it all day. Hey, 5 days compared to 2 days.
Right.
We'll take the sales. All right, let's get started. And 5 things you must know about achieving success part 2. Last week was really good. We did some true or false in the chat. We had some different answers in there, and we're gonna follow that same thing here. We're gonna get B's input, the chat's input, and see what you guys think. So 5 different statements, and you let me know true or false. So let me. Big Money Mo, what up? Big Money Mo, how are sales? All right, let me get this poll question for the first one. All right, put that in here. And sorry, I gotta type it in. All right. True or false? Here's the first one. Focus is today's IQ.
Oh, I like.
Focus is today's IQ. True or false?
I'd say true.
You're seeing true. Sneaker pickers eBay was huge Thursday, Friday, trash Saturday, Sunday. Interesting. Yeah, Sunday was a little lower for me, but Saturday and today were really good. 10K in the weekend. Nice. Miyang 76. Sales fire. Big Money Mo. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to see. All right. True. 67%. Went up to 83%. 17% says false. Focus is today's IQ. So it says here, we live in the most distracted era in human history.
Ooh.
The internet is a double edged sword. Like money, the internet is neutral. It can be used for good or bad.
Mhm.
Sadly, most of us are simply not responsible enough for the internet.
Okay. Sorry,
we
Dad.
we waste hours every day staring at a screen. Our attention spans have shrunk to almost nothing. The internet is turning us into scattered, superficial thinkers. One of the most biggest challenges is to constant distraction that leads us to shallow rather than deep thinking. And shallow thinking leads to shallow living. To be
Mm,
everywhere is to be nowhere.
wow.
It says Cal Newport has a difference between deep work and shallow work. Deep work is using your skills to create something of value. It takes thought, energy, time, and concentration. Shallow work is all the little admin work that is email, meetings, calls, reports.
Mm,
Most people aren't moving toward their goals because they prioritize shallow work. He says the ability to perform deep work is becoming increasingly rare at exactly the same time it is becoming increasingly valuable in our economy. As a consequence, the few who cultivate this skill and then make it the core of their working life will thrive. So, I mean, I think we have so many distractions that it's like, do you think, all right, true or false, Thanksgiving is a distraction?
well, it depends what kind of, I would say, how unique your situation is, right? I mean, if it's me, my mom, my dad, my brother and sister, I think that's not a distraction. But if it comes to like, if it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then obviously it's not deep conversations anymore, it'll be shallow conversations. That's where it's at. It's the topic of the conversations that kind of like, would either be gold or be like trash, right?
Well, maybe the thing we should say is more of like B said a couple of weeks back, like for Christmas gifts, instead of giving a gifts, what if you take someone to go get a coffee and
That was good.
catch up with them or things
Mhm.
like that. So maybe not necessarily. I mean, I guess we could say Thanksgiving might be a distraction from maybe the
Mhm.
fact that there's other ways you can communicate with other people that like my parents, like I eat with them once a week, twice a
Mhm.
week, and I make sure it's like every week.
Right, right,
So there's
right.
a certain day I'm gonna go with them and
Yeah.
eat with them, catch up with them. I don't need one day in November to like specialize that.
Mhm.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I'd rather just spend that time and it's
Yeah.
like because you're with them and making that time, that effort
Right.
every week. So it's kind
Because
of
it's
like,
intentional, right? Like
yeah,
it's you
that's not
do
forced because it's kind of like,
right.
oh, it's a holiday, like oh, you
Yeah.
got to do it,
Yeah.
like
And that's pretty much what, this thing has been, like kind of like how I understand it. Like the more focus you get, right? Because there's two things in life. There's things that matter and there are things that don't, which is what he said, right? There's the admin stuff and there are things that are just you have to do, right?
yeah,
Like doing your laundry, just doing like the regular chores, right? And me and my wife has these sayings like we came up with this word brain juice, and it's pretty much your energy, your effort, your brain is why are we spending brain juice on these things?
yeah,
And if we start talking about random topic, we tell each other like we need to hold each other accountable that we shouldn't be wasting brain juice on things that don't matter.
Hmm.
And when there's things that matter, all in brain juice, empty it out. And I've always believed that, whenever you're trying to accomplish something, whenever you're trying to overcome an obstacle or a problem or trying to find a solution, I think you have to be so tired with thinking or coming out with a solution if you actually truly want to make this work. And because if not, that means you haven't spent enough effort. It's kind of just like working out physically, right? So you got the mental toughness and the physical toughness. If you're not lifting heavy enough or you're not tearing your muscles, right, the micro tears to build it back up, if you're not tired after that, workout, that means you really haven't done enough to actually push your body to the next level. So that's how I look at it. And I think you're spot on. There's just so many distractions, and that's one of the main things why I love working at night. That's because there's not a lot of phone calls, there's not a lot of texts or things going on.
Yeah.
And then when there are a lot of when there's a lot of distractions, I'd rather sleep.
Get that
Like,
rest.
yeah, during the day, I'm like, is this meeting worth it? Is this conversation or coffee worth it? And if this is true, then if this is important, then yes, I'll show up. If it's not, I'd rather sleep.
Great Girl Boss, what's up? Good to see you in the chat. Focus helps with discipline and consistency. I like that.
Mhm.
Caroline, Thanksgiving is boring. Sales after Thanksgiving, fire. I like that.
Mm.
Like in Three Legs, what's up? Flipping Sports Guy, what's up? Intramorph, I remember a Super Bowl ad where they were planning across all these families celebrating Thanksgiving, and then the last person was working by himself at the computer instead.
Sounds like
It's-
a reseller or something, huh?
it was I can't remember what it was for, GoDaddy or something. And it said something like, "This is to all those making sacrifices."
Oh,
Oh.
wow.
Kaiser says Thanksgiving is trash. um, let me see. Most people can't focus right now. They're either reminiscing on the past or daydreaming of hopeful future and totally missing right now where change is happening.
Yeah, 100%.
So big money
100.
mode, definitely. Well,
Yeah.
that's why it says, I mean, focus is today's IQ because so many distractions, which also leads to that instant gratification because
Hmm.
one of the distractions is IG and
Right,
seeing
right, right.
if someone's flexing a car, a house, anything, then people are like, oh, why can't I get that? Why can't I
Hmm.
do this? And then they want it now, now, now. It's like, and of course, shipping times also doesn't help with like
Yeah,
Amazon
that's
Prime one
actually
day.
true. Now that you said that, uh, if you are not focused, if you're distracted, you're actually more prone to comparison,
Yeah, true.
which is it could easily be a kind of like a morale killer or a momentum stopper, right?
Yeah,
Like I could easily say like, man, I've been doing this for so long, and look at that guy, he's already bought a Lamborghini or something like that, and I've started before him, right? Like
yeah,
that could be the easiest, or be like, man, like you start looking back, like, man, back in the good old days, if you're not busy with something moving forward, you keep then like you just start scrolling with the hashtag throwback Thursday moments, and you just keep looking at what it was or how good it was.
yeah.
So yeah, I think that's true. I mean, the more focus you get, at the end of the day, the smarter moves and decisions you make.
All right, let's go to the second one. This one was kind of interesting because, well, I don't know. Here it is. You should seek criticism instead of praise. True or false?
Oh,
And I was kind of iffy on this
yeah,
because
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
I'm 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 interested. I'm interested.
see what the chat says. All right, poll question is up. You should seek criticism instead of praise. True or false? I'm not
Let's
telling
see
you there's
that.
a right answer, but
Let's see the explanation, because it could be both, right? It could be both.
well, what do you think before the explanation? I'll tell you what I think
Okay, okay.
before.
For me personally, I think it's false, right?
Okay.
But the statement could be true if you're seeking criticism rather than praise with the circle that you've built around you
Yeah.
intentionally.
Yeah.
For example, I would I would rather have Glenn tell a criticism about my work than Glenn saying like, "B, good job, B," like, like, because I think the good job is actually a result.
Yeah.
The criticism is actually a step, a constructive criticism, if I would, but knowing that it's coming from your circle. If it's coming from your circle, it is actually valid. I would always see that as valid. And there are only a handful of people that I would. It's probably only 5 people that I would take criticisms from, because these are people that I trust and these are people that I built around me. Um, but it is false if you're listening to all the people around you, right? This
Yeah.
is when that random commenter, account 451, and just starts talking, oh man, Amazon's killing it, B, you gotta go. And then it's like, this guy's just, I just don't know, just some random, and all of a sudden I get bothered by it. And if I get bothered by it, then there goes my time, my energy. Now, if if I get too focused on praise from other randoms, it, I could easily be praised if you don't truly know me. Because if you see like, oh man, you got this, you got that, yeah, hoorah, right? But praise is actually hard to give if you truly know what this guy have put in,
Yeah.
right? Because it, like Glenn, like I'm not gonna be out here. It's like, man, look at Glenn, man, 130K subs. It's like, bro, like that's the results of all the X amount of years, over 5 years of doing YouTube and going building content every day. Like, he deserves that. Like yes, hoorah, congratulations, but he made it happen. So that's my take on that one.
Interesting. And what the chat says, so Clark Kent talking about haters, Yaroslav talking about yes men, and this explanation talks about both.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what they say. As a culture, we've become so fragile that we must combine honest feedback with 20 compliments.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get feedback, we do our best to disprove it. Psychologists call this confirmation bias, the tendency to search for, favor, and recall information that confirms our own beliefs, while giving excessively less consideration to alternative possibilities. It's easy to get praise when you ask family and friends who will tell you exactly what you want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of seeking praise, your work will improve if you seek criticism. You will know your work has merit when someone cares enough to give you unsolicited critique. If
Mm-hmm.
something is noteworthy, there will be haters.
Yep.
Haters confirm greatness. When you really start showing up, the haters will be intimidated by you.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than being a reflection of what they could do, you become a reflection of what they are not doing.
Mm. Wow. So the hate is real because it's becomes a comparison,
Yeah.
right? They're comparing. It's like, man, how is he that high? And then like, why I'm
How's
not?
Big Money Mo finding all these
Yeah,
shoes?
exactly. Like, I mean, if I had his outlet, man, if I had his store,
If I had a store, I'd be getting triple what Big
man,
Money Mo
if
was
I was
getting.
in El Paso, right? That's literally what it becomes, right? Um, but yeah, I agree. On a lot of people in the chat here is like, constructive criticism. Like, like I kind of said it there. Um, of course, the criticism that will be coming from Glenn towards me, I would always expect it to be a constructive one, because this guy cares about how my business rolls out, and vice versa in the people that I surround myself with. Intramorph said, exactly, it has to be someone whose opinion I give a damn about. As long as you're not surrounding yourself with yes men, I think that's really what I think we need to surround ourselves more people that are willing to give a remark about, right? Like to
Yeah.
to give a feedback, right?
Yeah.
Seth Godin said one time in his book, he said, create something that's worth giving a remark about. Create something remarkable. That's what he said. It doesn't mean it's great. It doesn't mean it's the best, but people care enough to say something about it,
Mm.
right? Whether it's good, if you're doing great, they're gonna be like, yes, there's gonna be bad remarks, aka haters, or good remarks. So that kind of like a feedback, a temperature, right? Like, okay, man, like I mean, if I get a lot more haters, I think that's a good thing because that's that's you're propelling yourself there. Now, if you get too good of a praise, man, a lot of people are trying to sell you something. That's what happens. A
Yeah.
lot of something's just trying to cut a deal with you. That's what it is, or something like that.
Well, the problem is too, if you get too much praise, sometimes your head starts getting so huge that you think that you're like
Mhm.
unbeatable or
You're it, yeah.
unstoppable.
Mhm.
And then when you start struggling,
Mhm.
you're like, what? But I'm doing
Mhm.
so well. Everybody
I
told me
was,
I was
I
doing so
was
well.
doing well, right?
Yeah, everybody told me I'm the best.
Mhm.
Um, Two things, I guess. I feel like you shouldn't seek either one, kind of like we
Oh.
said earlier, just because either one could be bad or good, and kind of like what same thing with Yaroslav said about the yes men thing is like you don't really want not really you just don't want the yes men around.
Mhm.
Um, but two things. Number one, for the criticism part, if you've never done it before yourself, I automatically eliminate you from talking.
Oh,
So when
that's good.
someone tries to they ask me, "Hey, how's it going with this? How's it going with that?" I'll answer your question. But if you're going to try to give me advice or criticize,
Mhm.
and you've never done it, I just tell them, "Well, you've never done that before." So like it's kind of like
Oh,
there's no point of listening
I mean,
to.
Caroline brought up a good point, Glenn, that's connected to that. She said, "Yeah, I'll need to see how many items in your store before you can criticize me."
See.
All right, huh? I mean, that's so true, right? Before you tell me to jump into something different, I mean, you gotta understand my situation too, and that's why it's valuable to only accept those kind of criticism from people that you know,
Yeah.
right? Glenn could easily say like, "Hey, B, you're missing out on Amazon," but Glenn's not gonna tell me that because he already know I got my hands full. I got like 2,500 items right now,
Yeah.
right? Now if he's gonna add on to something that I'm already, deep in, now he's actually causing chaos,
Yeah.
in introducing something more than what I already have. Now, if he thinks I can handle more and I'm not doing more, then he's gonna say that too. It's like, hey man, you're not utilizing your basement enough, man. You gotta add more inventory there. Like, I'm gonna agree to that. It's like, okay, thanks for and a lot of those are actually gonna be confirmation. I don't think they're gonna be something brilliant. I think those are gonna be confirmations. It's like, oh man, I've thought about that. It's like, man, and Glenn just told me about it too. So like, those are just two confirmations that I need to move, I need to build, I need to level up. So I think those are the things because a lot of times Glenn's not gonna come up to me and it's like, hey, Ken, like I think you need to be a pilot. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be something out of this world. But now, like if Glenn comes like, hey B, I think like you've stayed in that amount of inventory level or something like that. I think, and you've been cooking a lot. I think you need to do a cooking channel or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you don't have any plans on growing anyway, so add more revenue by opening up a YouTube channel. So yeah.
Let me see. Like being told the advice of your rich mentor on how to accumulate wealth is wrong by someone who's broke.
Mm.
Intramorph. Quick people hit the like button. Show some love in here. Greedy Girl Boss. I like
Oh,
that.
let's
Hit
some
the like
love.
button a
Let's
little
some
bit.
loves.
Another thing before we get into the next one was that when I started the YouTube channel, I didn't tell anybody as far as like friends and family
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't want any feedback from anybody because they would tell me I would get random answers.
Mm.
Oh, that's cool. You started a channel. Oh, it's good, it's bad. The only way I really thought I would know if it was gonna do good is if total strangers watched it.
Mm. Right.
Because I feel like
It's
I
a
mean, my
more
parents
honest
would watch it
feedback.
and
Yeah,
support
it's a
it.
honest feedback, right?
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'll watch it and then add some views, but how do I know if it's doing well or not?
Dude,
So
that was the main reasons why I didn't want to share my eBay store for the first how many years. Because followers can add more can add more
views and
watchers or
watchers and
views, right? Or traffic. But I wouldn't know if my pricing or my item is actually worth watching, right?
yeah.
From random strangers. So that this is a pretty good topic, man. It covered a lot.
Eric D, is Mile High Hustle still coming on to talk about Amazon? Yes, I did message him. He's out of
Oh,
town
he's
and
moving.
moving.
He's moving. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
doing a lot of stuff
He's
right now. So
busy.
he's like, when I have time, I appreciate you have invited me and stuff. So he's super cool. We've obviously he's been in Level Up. We've talked to him many times, but he
Right.
can't right now. So I'm totally understandable. He's got a lot going on. AN, my friend got suckered into a pyramid scheme and thinks he's a millionaire. Pyramid schemes are, man, that's a totally different story. I've had cousins try to go through that. I've had ex coworkers go through that, and man. All right, we have 3 more. Next one, let me copy and paste for the poll. Whoops, I gotta end the other one. So the other one ended at 70%. You should see criticism instead of praise. 70% true. All right, this thing's taking forever. Create a poll. Here we go. And okay. All right, next one. The world gives to the givers and takes from the takers.
Ooh.
True or false?
You know my stand. You guys know my stand.
And there's the poll. It's now on the chat. B, what do you think?
I mean, 100% true, man. I mean, I am a firm believer that you reap what you sow, right? You get what you put in. Um, I think it's a natural science that if you plant an orange, you're gonna harvest oranges. Now, I think it's created that way. God created that way that so that humans won't be like, I'm planting an apple and I'm gonna expect grapes or something random, right? Like you plant a seed, an apple seed, and you're literally waiting. It's like, I wonder what kind of fruit's gonna come out. That's me. That's me. Like, if you plant something good, if you do something good, you're right. Overall, good's gonna come to you. But man, even the justice, let's not talk about that. Even in this world, there's rules in this world that if you do something bad, something's gonna bite you, right? Evade taxes for so long, IRS gonna get you some way somehow, right? Do something illegal, you're gonna get caught eventually, right? So I think that's it, and I think like to make the story short, that this is why I do this. This is what I love. I just don't like. I love showing up and doing Monday show, Wednesday show. And the reason why I created my Instagram, the reason why Hustlebee is created is because I want to give back. I wanna share, and I want to help. That's what it is. I mean, besides Level Up and our workshop, we really haven't sold anything to anybody that we're trying to make off money off of them, or we're trying to make people pay our rent or something like that.
The good comment in the chat saying Clark Kent false. I made everything I got, and Sneaker Pick is true. Most of the time, I still see bad people out there thriving.
Yeah, I mean, they're out there, you see them rolling.
Let me see. Too legit. What up? Sneaker Pickers, Seinfeld, everything evens out. Even Steven. So yeah. So here's explanation from them.
Right.
Here, and then I'll tell you what I think. Because yes, I think there's a yes and no part of it, but it says people have a scarcity perspective, believe that helping other people hurts you because you no longer have the advantage.
Mm-hmm.
This perspective sees the world as a giant pie. Every piece of the pie you have is pie I don't have. So in order for you to win, I must lose.
Mm.
But people with an abundance perspective believe there is not only one pie, but an infinite number of pies. If
Mm.
you want more, you make more. Thus, helping others actually helps you because it makes the system as a whole better. It also builds relationships, trust, and confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their point of view.
Right, right.
What I
That's a
think,
that's a pretty good the pie analogy. I like that.
yeah, because this is almost like, yeah, you're making good money in eBay, and other people can too. Because why? We're looking at it as like there's an infinite amount of pies
Mm-hmm.
in this, as they say here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I guess going back to what if the statement was like, does the world give back to givers that expect something in return? Because not everybody is willing to give, I guess, to help
Right.
as part, I guess, in their own
Well,
heart.
it could be a sad marketing scheme, right? Next thing you know, I'm just nice, 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 super nice, and be like, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, subscribe to my $10,000 course. I'll make you a millionaire, and I'm not a millionaire yet. It could be a scheme, right?
Yeah.
And
Uh,
and and I think to truly truly give, you can't expect anything in return.
True. I
And
mean,
now, if
yes.
you expect something in return, now that becomes a transaction,
Yeah.
right? And now, on a transaction, actually, Glenn, there's actually somebody that wins and somebody that loses, right?
Well,
Like,
assuming, yeah.
right? Because, like, for example,
Well,
right?
kind of, because Nike would win if you bought Nikes from them. They would win, and you would win because you would resell it.
Right, exactly. But you could get suckered in easily if you don't think that way. That's the pie, the other pie mentality when you said that, right? Like, now if Nike thinks Nike's ripping me off, I could just make money off of what Nike sold me for a profit, for more profit. So now, there's a lot more pies in the world. But if you're looking at it as only one pie, 100% somebody's gonna lose if it's that kind of transaction.
Big Money Mo says, I thought you guys meant as in giving in charity. Well, that would be you're giving to
I
give
think
to be a good person. I
Yeah,
mean,
I think that's part of it too, because for me as a person, or my belief is, if you're a giving person, you're just a giving person in everything you do. But if you're not a giving person, yes, it would hurt you. It would be unnatural for you to do something about giving, charity wise or content wise, because there would be a motive behind it, right?
yeah.
Like, to give to help is great, like, it's a win-win situation, I think. But to give to expect something, somebody's gonna lose, because it's either one's gonna not gonna get the expectation that he set, right? For example, if I give Glenn some mocha once, and then Glenn comes back and gives me an Air Max 97 from his old inventory, we both gave. But if I expected, it's like, man, I'm gonna give them mochas. He's gonna give me the newest breads one. It's gonna come out. Now, if he doesn't give me that, now, you know, there's hurt feelings. But if I actually just truly gave Glenn something and didn't care what I get, we both win.
Clark Kent freeloaders be like, I got my blessings.
Yeah, yeah, those are the kind of people, right? Yeah, they don't worry about anything.
I mean, if I would have to put it in perspective where I'm coming from as far as like the channel wise,
Mm-hmm.
why did you, we heard, how many times have we heard it? Why did you tell everybody about Ross? Why did you
Right.
tell everybody about Burlington? Why did you
Mm-hmm.
create this channel? And especially once I think when I was like around 10K subs, I started to hear a lot more and getting those DMs and
Mm-hmm.
emails. Um, but the reason why I created it is because I had student loans. I mean, I was looking on ways to make extra money, and I figured I could help other people make extra money. But my perspective back then was not, how do I quit my job and make this into a full-time business to where this thing is growing and, it's, I mean, I always wanted to grow and pay off the loans, but that was like my number one goal. I never looked at it into this bigger business perspective until it got a lot bigger. And of course, talking to B and other people that have already done a lot of things. But to me, I just felt like, well, if you've already been doing it before and you've been doing well, then I don't know why this would really affect you. If you're continually doing well, you would find other ways. Now, if you're not changing or evolving and you're relying on the same thing over and over again, nothing's going to last forever anyway. Then you are going to get beaten in that point to where it's kind of like, well, what do I do now?
One way or another, you're going to lose out if you don't change.
Exactly. And what I like about the end of this is that what I do agree with was saying that thus helping others actually helps you because it makes the system as a whole better. It also builds relationships, trust, and confidence. And I like that last line because, I trust people that I've met on Out Hustled and things like that, and they trust me. And they ask me questions, and I give them feedback. And I like to have that, but it also led to different relationships. So, like, Gritty Girl Boss, like, welcomed me into her house. They let me stay there, and going to Out Hustles and meeting different people, relationships I never would have met Caroline. We never would have met. Who else is here in the chat? I mean, Big Money Mo. I've talked to him, different times online, but like I never would have met different people. And obviously with B, how much I've learned from him, none of that would have happened. So it's definitely like a give and take, and things come back, and I don't know, it just things just end up kind of working out that way. All right, we got the end of that one. All right, ended that one. They had 61% said true. The world gives to givers and takes from the takers. All right, we got two more. And put this in here. All right. True. False. Here we go. You should consistently seek the next opportunity. True or false?
That's
a lot of these are like, you have to think about them.
Or don't worry, Glenn. I'll find a way to articulate how my answer becomes right. Or wrong, right? Or make the wrong answer right. All right. The honest feedback, I would say true.
Okay.
True if you are in the mindset of becoming better and with some wisdom applied.
Okay.
Right? Because, for example, wrong opportunities for the person could be a distraction. That's what I would say. Meaning, if opportunity back in the day when it started would have been to sell on all platform right off the gate. That's good opportunity, make money, right? But my mindset was, I want to master one first, and I want to be close to as expert or really good as I want to be at one thing first before I start dabbling into so many things at the same time. Because I understood that I had limited capital, and ultimately I had limited time and limited focus. Right? If you scatter yourself, talk about focus. Now, if you spread yourself too thin, now you're just average of a lot of things. So I think the answer could be false or true.
I know.
But my answer was true, knowing myself. Knowing myself, I should seek new opportunities all the time, because knowing myself, if I don't, I'll get stagnant and comfortable with where I'm at, and that would hinder me from growing.
Let me see if the chat says really good answers. A sneaker picker's 1000% true. Never know when the current lines of opportunity will dry up.
Mhm.
Gritty Girl Boss false-ish because shiny object syndrome is distracting.
Right.
Clark Kent $10. Super chat. Thank you for that. This Thanksgiving week, before I know it's gonna be a short week as far as content goes, but $10 super chat for this Monday live. Appreciate that. Take opportunities you want. eBay Poshman, Infinite Wealth. Always be looking for verticals to expand your business. Intramorph. I don't know that seek is the right word. You could waste a lot of time and energy seeking. You
Mm.
should just be ready when an opportunity presents itself, which is what they're
Mm.
gonna kind of talk about in
See,
here.
man, there's a lot of ways to make your answers true or
I
false.
know. Big Money Mo. Of course, you always got to be ready for the next move. And Eddie, another one, just made a sale fire. That's what I
Go.
like. And AN, let's see how all these NFT people end up. Laugh out loud.
Wow.
Oh,
I had to throw in some sprinkles in there.
yeah. Okay, so here's what they say. The perfect client, perfect opportunity, perfect circumstance will almost never happen.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of wishing things were different, why not cultivate what's right in front of you?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than waiting for the next opportunity, the one in your hands is the opportunity. Said another way, the grass is greener where you water it.
Mm-hmm.
It says, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wish for less challenges, wish for more wisdom.
I like that. I like the answer. Let's stick with the answer.
The way I see it, at least from my perspective, I met a guy that told me I only resell items that I'm gonna make $50 or more on.
Mm.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You have your own system, you run with that system.
Right.
But I also feel like, what about some of the opportunities that might have been right in front of you that
Mm-hmm.
you ignored because they didn't fall? They weren't the perfect opportunity,
Right. Mm-hmm.
maybe through your business mindset,
Mm-hmm.
but they definitely could have helped you maybe in the long term, or maybe
Right.
when things are a little bit drier. These were also opportunities that were there in front of you that you totally ignored.
Mm-hmm.
So that I can kind of see it. I also see it to where like perfect client, perfect opportunity, perfect circumstance will almost never happen. That
Mm-hmm.
is also true to where I think, especially just getting into the resale game, they expect things to sell fast,
Right.
expect the most money, expect for
Mm-hmm.
things to go smooth,
Mm-hmm.
and they might not happen. I
Mm-hmm.
also see the perspective of, instead of wishing things were different, why not cultivate what's right in front of you? I put that in kind of the Big Money Mo perspective, to where like, instead of wishing, man, I wish I was in Big Money Mo's Nike outlet,
Mm-hmm.
why not own your own outlet?
Right. Right.
That's the way I kind of read that
Mm-hmm.
statement.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think?
I think I like that statement that you always would wanna find that solution, right? Like don't shy away or get scared by what the problems are, because whether you like it or not, whether you're rich or you're broke, you're always gonna have problems, and that's how the way I look at it. But um, but I see success in the mindset of how you face these things, um, and I think it's always true that the grass is greener where you water it. um you know so this is how I look at it now. Like if you talk about grass, right? Now if my grass is green, right, I can plant flowers to make my yard look good. Now that's an opportunity staying within my bounds. Now if I'm talking about grass and I'm gonna start thinking about you know some random thing that's out of my knowledge or expertise, then it becomes a distraction.
Mm.
Then that opportunity, all of a sudden I look back, it's like, man, I was distracted doing yard work because all of a sudden I took another, a job of something so different, right? And it's just like it's like me, like it's like kind of like our journey, right? I'm a athletic sporting goods category, right? Next thing you know, you see me like selling Pokemon cards, breaking Pokemon cards. Like that's an opportunity, right? Any opportunity, because if you sometimes people look at opportunity as a monetary gain. So if you look at it that way, there's a million opportunities out there. I mean, I dabble in stocks, I dabble in this, I dabble in that, but ultimately I step back. I was like, man, that 2 3 hours I spend on that new venture, I wonder what that would look like if I spend that on my current venture.
Hmm.
So I think I've never been the person to say don't try. I would always say try at least once or twice,
Yeah, definitely try
right?
things. And,
Always try it. That's why I just gave that advice to somebody. She said, you know, I don't know what to do next. I have like 3 or 5 different ideas. I said, that's it. Try all of them. And she's like, oh, I never thought about it that way. And and because at the end of the day, you really never know if you truly like it unless you've tried it, right? It's just like eating something, right? Unless you've tried it, you will always say like, whatever you say is not going to be a true statement, but until you try it, then now you can give a more an honest statement. So I think that would be good, and always be willing to step back and see, is like, is this an opportunity that's ultimately going to grow to my advantage or to my disadvantage, right? Because you could be cultivating two things, and at the end of the line you're gonna be stuck in a road where you have to let go of one or the other. And when you are faced in that kind of decision, whatever you spent on that other thing could have been considered a waste of time or a distraction.
yeah, very true. Let me go back up and see. Yeah, Big Money Mo and also Great Girl Boss, kind of similar thing that you also said too. People confuse distractions for opportunities. We say these are dry times. We are all really flourishing. eBay Poshman, Steven, what's up? Nestor, what's up? Lucky on three legs. That's why Glenn is slinging hats now. You think he wants to sell
Mhm.
hats? No, but he's cultivating a new era. That's exactly what, you know, they're brand new with tags. They're cheap at the price I'm getting them for. I don't have to source them. I get them from the same bulk seller, and I'm
Mhm.
getting quantity, at least like 6 per style, so I can, list it once and quantity is there.
Mhm.
Um and that was a different opportunity to also get to jerseys. I finally got some jerseys this weekend from that bulk seller, so it's kind of like hopefully that'll lead to better things, but you never know when some of these opportunities are definitely
For
going to
sure.
arise.
I
You got to
mean,
be ready. I mean,
man, to the 50 people out here that's listening, you don't have a clue what we're about to try.
that's
We're
a
about to
totally
try
different.
things that we've said we wouldn't try. Well, we're gonna try it just because we've never done it before.
All we got to do is
And
try and learn. See,
try and learn, try and learn, try and learn, right? Maybe some auction listings coming up. All right, I didn't give it all away, but maybe we'll see, right? Because it's worked for other people. Maybe we'll try and articulate something there and see if it fits in our numbers. If it's in our numbers or the ROI we want, for sure we'll try it.
last one. We had 5. Here we go. And it's loading. And there it is. $1 is a lot of money. True or false? What do you think?
Man, false.
False. $1 is a lot of money. Now we got a little mixed results so far.
I would say false.
55-45.
I would say false.
Okay, say false.
Yeah,
Why?
because even the lowest wage or per hour, if you truly work a full 8-hour shift, you're gonna have a lot more dollar. That's how I see it. I mean, worst case scenario, if I mess up on whatever venture I have, if you think $1's a lot, I'm still gonna have a lot of dollars if I work the lowest paying job. So I would say $1's not a lot.
What if I lived in like the poorest part of Mexico?
Oh, I mean, even the poorest part of the Philippines, you know,
Is $1 a lot of money?
it'd buy you a meal, but I don't think that's a lot, right? Because for me, when you say a lot, that means excess.
Okay.
What? But is $1 enough? Could be, right? But a lot's got to be excess.
I like this. Different answers in the chat again. Yeah, Lloyd says
Compared to
compared to
America, compared to
America.
the world, for real, right?
Another sale, Eddie. There we go. $2.
Man,
Super chat.
I'm trying to refresh my eBay here. I'm trying to see if I get that. If I
So
get that.
Eddie, keep this content
Right.
going. Let me see. Intro more. If it's a lot of money, then you'd be willing to buy something that you can flip for $1 profit.
Mhm.
Yaroslav, it is true because most of the world live off less than $1 a day, but in the US, $1 is nothing.
Right. True.
Eric D, true when dealing in volume and processes.
Mm-hmm.
Big Money Mo, $1 is the building block of your wealth. If you think $1 is nothing, you'll waste it, and then it turns into hundreds a month, eventually 1,000 per year.
Good point. Great
Which
point.
is what kind of this thing talks about, actually.
Oh
Did
man,
Big Money Mo write these notes?
I think this is his article, Glenn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sneaker pickers, $1 is not a lot of money anywhere. $1 million is getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Eric D, if you are a manufacturer and produce 1 million items a week and find a way to save $1 for each item, of course $1 is a lot.
Right. True.
Interesting.
True.
All right.
Statement.
So as of right now, 42% said true, 58% say false. Here's what they say. Understanding the value of $1 is the same as coming to appreciate the value of time.
Mm.
To thoughtlessly spend $1 might not seem like a big deal, but it actually is. That frivolous spending compounded over a long time could be millions. And the truth is, most millionaires are self-made, 80% being the first generation rich and 75% being self-employed. Not getting paid hourly challenge you to take more responsibility for every minute and every dollar. A great majority of millionaires are extremely frugal, or at least highly mindful with their money.
Mm. I'm guilty of that. There are times that I just spend money.
I
There are
just
times that I don't spend money. So, and that's one of the main reasons that we haven't ate out for a long time, because I've realized,
luxurious dinners.
yeah, the luxury dinners, the hundreds of dollars you spent there could be spent at something different. And 100% agree on that statement. I came here into America with nothing, and then from dollar menu to $100 menus, right? That's a big jump. But I think the statement is they're highly mindful. I
Yeah.
think that's I think that's one of the things that it's dangerous if you're not mindful. And I think that's one of the things that saves me, because if I don't have that trait, I have the tendency to just spend, spend, spend. But I think the being highly mindful, because when you're mindful, you have uh you have a motive why you're doing it, right? Whether it's for an extravagant celebration, it's for trying to make a memory, or it's trying to recreate that feeling that you could have this every day, or you could be able to do this more often if you work hard enough, or if you could get to the next level. I think that's one of the main reasons that um, I love
Oh,
going back to the Philippines. Celebrates my.
well, you froze, but now you're slowly coming back.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Going
You're
back to the Philippines.
okay, there you go.
Choppy. I'm choppy.
Yeah, you're choppy, but you're coming back.
I'm good to go. I
Yeah.
think. Are we good now?
Kind of choppy again. Let me
See, people are
see.
trying to. Let's see. Let me close some
Okay,
of
now it's
my.
good.
We're good.
Yeah.
I think like I said that I love going back to the Philippines because it recalibrates my spending or appreciation of a dollar. I think Gritty Girl Boss said the question should be, do you value a dollar? I think
Mm.
that's a good kind of like rephrase there. But yeah, man, 100%. Like the most frugal people are the people that have m- money or cash flow to take advantage of an opportunity. I agree with that.
A big one in Mo, when I feel wasteful, I think of the dollar in Egypt pounds and think what I can get for it there.
Mm-hmm.
I think as resellers, though, everybody in the chat can definitely see the dollar in a different perspective
Mm-hmm.
when you were not reselling.
That's true.
Because going to Burlington and Ross, like we talked about, like buying clothes for your kids or for
Mm-hmm.
your family, like you see the people that are buying toddler Jordans at Foot Locker.
Yeah,
It's like,
70
is
bucks, 80 bucks, right?
that their kid's gonna grow out of
In 2 months.
very, very soon. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Right.
And what can you get for a certain amount of money at Ross and Burlington compared to the mall? What
Mhm.
can you get for that certain money at a thrift store compared to
Mm,
Ross and Burlington? Thrift
right.
stores have been bumping up their prices, and even Ross has been cheaper than some of the thrifts, brand new
Yeah,
with tags.
yeah,
Ross has
like
been,
just go to Nike, like three, four, $20 shirts, right?
yeah,
Brand.
exactly. But the interesting part is before reselling, I didn't really see it that like that because even though I was on a paid salary job
Mhm.
and I got the same amount every month, I would definitely spend money on dumb stuff. Not as bad as like some of my other buddies that would go to the bar and buy a bunch of drinks for everybody and
So,
then their
so
whole
did you
check is
buy?
gone.
So, quick question: did you buy retail stuff when before like getting into like reselling, deep into reselling? Did you buy stuff in retail?
I bought stuff in retail because I had to. Well, I would buy it retail, but I would also try to like wear it out until it was down to scraps.
Oh, okay.
Like I had to dress nice at work. I had to wear
Mhm.
like slacks, tie.
So, did you buy it at like the mall? You went to go to the mall and buy it. You didn't go to like discount stores.
For like shoes I did, but for like the shirts and stuff, like I
Mhm.
would I would go to the mall and buy some of that stuff, and then I would just wear it until I couldn't wear it anymore. Like some of these, like they might be out of style or whatever,
Right, right.
but I just wanted to make it last until I couldn't anymore, and then just to kind of fit that part because it was like
Uh,
you had to look nice, and I was like, oh, you're meeting with the president of this whatever, and I'll be froze again, but he'll come back. Whatever college, and it's like this is dumb, and that's what I think is like kind of valuing more after the reselling part is like you can see what you could get for
mhm.
the money you have, and
Right,
you don't have to be buying
right.
dumb stuff when you can get deals here
Yeah,
and there.
I agree. I think that's kind of like where me and my wife use that
Man, B keeps freezing. He never freezes this much. Eddie, bro, no cap,
like
another sale. This is crazy. All throughout the stream, Eddie on fire.
that's where my sales are going because my internet gets disconnected and goes to Eddie.
Eddie's taking your bandwidth and internet
Yeah,
connection.
you know.
Um, but I definitely agree. Kind of the same thing that Big Money Mo said is like you spend a thoughtlessly, you spend $1, it might not seem like a big deal, but yeah, if you get used to that, of course it's gonna add up. But that's the same thing as like the opposite side on the sales. It's like you make a little money here and there, and then once you start getting all right, 4 sales, 5 sales. Look at Eddie, 6 sales. All these
Mhm.
are gonna keep adding up. You're making more money coming in. It's the
Mhm.
same thing as spending it too.
Right, right.
Um, so yeah, it's understanding the value of a dollar is same as coming to appreciate the value of time.
Mm.
That is also true because we're not getting paid you know, by the hour. We're not getting paid salary. We're making up our own time and our own business. So we have
Right.
to make the most of it. Whether you go to bed at 3 a.m. or figure out whatever your schedule is. Like me and B have totally different schedules. Him and his wife are shipping like late at night, doing all that.
Right.
I have a bedtime that I'm like, I
Man,
gotta
sleep.
go to bed
Yeah.
early.
Right. Right.
And then he likes taking naps. I can't take naps. Like if
Yeah.
I wake up from a nap, I'm like groggy. I can't like get
Dude, it
back
was
into it.
even earlier. Like it was funny because like my wife was finishing up shipping, and then I was just looking and hunting for deals, and then she said like we're gonna leave the house at 3:40 at 4 in the afternoon, and then I saw the clock and it was like 3:40, and I was like, perfect, 20-minute nap. So I
Power
literally just,
nap.
yeah, I literally just set an alarm on my phone, 20 minutes. I took a nap, and then I just woke up and then ready to go.
Man.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. Good hour show. Went by quick.
Right.
We'll go through all 5 again real quick. Focus is today's IQ. Most people said true. You should seek criticism instead of praise. We also had more truths on that one, but it was mixed. The world gives to the givers and takes from the takers.
Mhm.
You should constantly seek the next opportunity. And the last one, $1 is a lot of money.
Mhm.
All right. Tomorrow it's a short, smaller, thrifty Tuesday. They're trying to hold all their inventory for Black Friday. I'm not going on Black Friday. I don't care what these guys are doing.
No,
Like
no.
there's no need. So short video tomorrow and taking a nice little break. No show on Wednesday,
Do we come
Thursday,
back Monday?
Friday.
We come
Probably not
back
until
Monday.
Monday. You know, a nice little
A full week.
break. So and then we'll get back at it. And also because I just want to make sure everything's up to date on listing and
Yeah.
shipping
Yeah.
and so I was telling B, the only thing I have left to do is to finish cross listing the stuff from this weekend to Mercari. Everything else, I went through bin by bin,
Oh
checking,
man,
making sure everything is listed. So I'm set. I'm just
you're
ready.
set. You're set. All right.
Q4 time. This is it.
Yeah.
So,
Time to
uh,
shine.
yes, sir.
But yeah, I guess if we do the next show on Monday, I guess we'll hear about our Thanksgiving stories
Thanksgiving stories and selling stories.
and selling stories.
So be like Eddie and keep getting those sales.
Yeah. I finally got a sale. Thanks,
There we
Eddie.
go. So
Now,
thank you, Eddie.
yeah, thanks, Eddie.
All right, appreciate it. We'll see you guys, I guess, next Monday. Enjoy Thanksgiving,
See
and
you.
we'll see you then. Go out and
Peace,
get it.
peace.